My name is Easy, and welcome back to another episode of Easy Does It, where we will be giving reviews on YouTube channels, doing some reactions to them, and from time to time doing a vlog. Now, this week we're going to take a look at someone who does something similar to what my other channel does, which is reviewing basically like television and movies. This guy is known as the Critical Drinker. He's been around for a long time, it seems, since 2006. He's masked quite a few views, but over the years, that's not surprising. He's got like 386,000 views or better, and he's got about 1.5 million subscribers, which is way more than I got, but he's been on way far longer than I have. The ones that irritate me are the ones that get on and like in 6 months they got like almost 2 million subscribers, and I'm like, BS, because the channel's not even that good. It doesn't have that good content. It really irritates me when I see that. Something fishy's going on when they can amass that many subscribers in that short amount of time. Because I've had my other channel for about 2 years or better, and I'm not even close to even 100,000 or so. So whatever. But anyways, I do a lot more on my other channel than what the Critical Drinker does. He just does mainly movies and television. I do far more other stuff. I review books and video games, the paranormal, stuff like that. I do quite a bit more. I also give a lot of the updated news on what's going on. But you could check that other channel out. It's called Channel TBT, Truth Be Told. You're more than welcome. But on this one, I strictly do YouTube channels for the most part, reactions and reviews. Today, like I said, we're going to check out the Critical Drinker. He's got a new one uploaded. It's basically about the Willow show, the Disney Willow show. I think it's trash. It has nothing to do with the original movie. They've pretty much rewritten everything. But I'm going to see if I haven't watched this yet, but I'm going to see if he comes to the same conclusion. I think he does, because he thinks it's a disaster as well, because that's in the title. It's a total disaster. But
truly,
let's get into it.
The good Lord giveth, and he taketh away. No sooner has Andor come out and raised the tantalising possibility that Lucasfilm were actually still capable of making decent stuff when the right creatives
Andor
were involved,
sucks.
then they go ahead and release Willow, and it's pretty much business as usual again.
Andor is terrible.
It's tough to think of a show that manages to condense so many.
They haven't done one decent Star Wars show
into one project. From the gratingly awful, cringe-inducing dialogue to the smug, insufferable characters, the laundry list of diversity and inclusion tick boxes taking the place of actual personalities, the thinly veiled contempt for the source material, and the brain-destroying attempts at snarky comedy, Willow is basically the congealed...
They never go by the source material, ever. They think they can rewrite everything and do it 10 times better, and they can't. They suck.
Movie about dwarves.
It's always 10 times worse.
It was at best a marginal box office success.
Hollywood sucks, especially Disney.
I mean, I guess this is what happens when you've annihilated basically every other legacy property you inherited from the far more talented minds that built your studio in the first place.
Yep.
Eventually, you're going to have
He's
to
right
scrape
about
the bottom
that.
of the barrel. And so here we find ourselves staring into the diarrhea-splattered toilet bowl of modern entertainment for the last time in 2022, once again questioning the terrible life choices that led us
Now,
here.
he has to
Anyway,
be
let's
getting
get this
check
shit
marked
over with
and
some good
monetized
through Avatar
for
2
using this
instead.
footage. I don't care if you're doing commentary or not over it.
Picks up about 20 years
I
after
get-
the events of the
I get,
movie. Following the defeat of Bav Morda,
copyright strikes all the time because I use footage from trailers on my other channel, so I know he's constantly getting monetized for it.
To Lucasfilm what given real
Another thing,
of Disney movies is
he
to Kevin
freaking-
Smith. Keep on
everything
trying,
he
Kev.
does
Maybe
is
one day you'll get
scripted.
that directing gig
Like
that
he
you traded
writes
in
his
your balls
scripts and
for.
reads
Anyway,
it.
they had two
I
kids
don't.
before Mad Mardigan vanished.
I give him
One is
the
skinny,
truth
effeminate
and facts and
womanizer,
honest
but he
opinion.
vanishes in the first episode, so we won't
But
worry
Critical
about him for
Drinker
now.
does
The more important
scripts
character here is obviously
and
his
uses
sister
footage
Kit.
that he shouldn't be using.
What the hell was that?
No, not that Kit. Although considering how little sense this show makes, I wouldn't be entirely surprised if a talking car from the 1980s suddenly burst onto the set and started fighting people.
Right.
Kit is whatever passes for a main character in
He's not
Willow.
wrong.
I know, right? Imagine a Lucasfilm sequel to a legacy IP that crowbars another generically strong female
I can't stand that
character
actress.
into the main role. And so from this point
That
onward, we're gonna
redhead
call her exactly what
dumbass.
she is. Strong
She can't
female
act worth a
character.
shit.
So strong
sucks.
female character fancies herself as an adventurer and a warrior, and she spends most of her days sparring and swapping long admiring glances at Ginger Plank of Woods. And don't
Right.
worry, we're going to talk more about her later.
Oh,
Believe that.
that doesn't
Anyway, in
surprise
case you
me.
missed the not so subtle hints that the show hammers you over the head with in literally the first 5 minutes, strong female character and Ginger Plank of Wood are super gay for each other.
Right.
Because this show has to reflect the world we live in today.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. The point is that strong.
They
female
always have to have the
character is
gay
actually because
token
Ginger
characters in
Plank
their
of Wood is
shows
planning to
now.
leave and start training to become a knight.
Every time. And like less than 1% of the
Sure,
population
yeah, okay. And
is
so this
gay.
drives the rift
So,
between the two characters.
fuck off,
Things
Disney.
even further is the fact that strong female character is due to be married to the son of an important
Yeah,
nobleman.
always
to
gotta
help
have the
cement
strong
future of their
female
kingdom.
lead.
Place your bets now, ladies
Fucking
and gentlemen.
stupid
Do you think this
dumbasses.
guy will turn out to be
When
strong,
that's not even
capable,
based in
assertive, and
reality.
masculine, or a weak, cowardly, timid-looking beta male that uses
Yeah,
safety scissors
yeah, I
to
was
open
getting
his
ready.
bags of
He's
crisps?
definitely a beta
You know,
male.
It's weird, but I feel like I can almost smell the writer's room for this show. So strong female characters busy humiliating him and generally acting like a total asshole on their wedding night.
Yep.
But oh no, then the castle comes under attack by some monster things called the Gales. And her idiot brother gets
Yeah,
kidnapped
okay,
and
the
fights
Gales,
him.
whatever.
Oh no, what a terrible loss. I really liked him. But clearly something must be done. Do you think the Queen will send the full might of her military to crush the threat and get her son back?
No.
Or will she send her only remaining child along with a bunch of random arseholes that are completely ill-equipped for a mission like this?
Yep.
I'll give you one guess. So strong female character, Ginger Plank of Wood, and a group of talentless diversity hires head out to defeat the bad guys, rescue the helpless prince, and save the day. Yeah, see what you did there, Lucasfilm. How very progressive of you. Oh yeah, and they're also accompanied by a young serving
Yeah, you're
girl
gonna
who
send a
seems
bunch of
suspiciously
teenagers to
outspoken
go
and
fucking
confident for someone of such
instead
low
of a,
standing.
you know,
I wonder
armed
if she might
guard.
turn out to be far more important
I
than
mean,
she
you
seems.
gotta have some reality in your fantasy
Future Empress.
shows and stories, or it's just not gonna work.
Best hope against the evil coming to destroy us all.
Thank you, Warwick Davis. So the serving girl is actually a Laura Zan, the baby from the first movie that's quite literally the girl who's the key to everything. I mean, I'm pretty sure she had red hair in that film, but whatever. I guess having two redheads in one production might create some kind of ginger singularity that could destroy the entire universe. So yeah, once again, she becomes their only hope of destroying the bad guys and saving the world. How? Why? Don't know. She's magic or something, and that's as much as we're supposed to think about it.
Pretty much, they don't
Willow
tell you
finally
the
shows
reason
up
why.
after about an
He's
hour of
right.
screen time in a show which is literally called Willow. I mean, where the hell do I even begin with this utter disaster of
Them
a show
two
when
fuckers,
basically every single aspect
it's a
of it makes me
trope
want to
of
gouge my eyes
Jay
out,
and
like I just
Silent
had a
Bob.
2-week self-catering holiday on the Event Horizon.
And it was
I
horrible.
mean, I guess
It's like
the
a
thing that
female
immediately leapt
version.
out at me about Willow
Those
was
two
the
in the
dialogue,
woods.
in that it makes
Dumb.
Rings of Power seem like fucking Dostoevsky. Pretty much every single character talks and acts like they just walked off the street in downtown LA. The script is filled with
Yeah.
dialogue, jokes, and expressions that came straight out of 2022, and
Yeah.
it's more jarring than taking a Ferrari up to 100 miles an hour and throwing it into reverse. Attempts to work in the kind of snarky humour you normally see in the MCU are almost physically painful to watch. God, I hate Marvel. I hate what it's done to cinema. Now, I know the original movie wasn't exactly Lord of the Rings in terms of its emotional tone, but it at least knew when to ease off the humour and work in some actual serious moments to make us feel like something was at stake. But here, it even gets in the way of actual exposition that would be genuinely useful for world building, and it feels more like the show is trying to act like some cool, self-aware comedian, ironically mocking his own persona.
Yeah,
I mean, when a
they
show
pretty
literally
much just,
takes the
it's
piss
like
out
a
of
mock,
itself, it leaves me
mockery
wondering what the hell I'm
of
supposed
the
to
original
do.
film.
The script's also filled with absolutely nonsensical decisions and contrived events. Vitally important characters are allowed to wander alone and unguarded in hostile territory because everyone just kind of forgot about them. And when they get kidnapped, the rest of the group take off in pursuit with a heavy, overburdened wagon that needs constant repair and gets bogged down in rough terrain because nothing says urgent,
Constantly.
high-stakes pursuit like a nice leisurely jaunt on a fucking horse and cart.
Yeah,
The
I
group
thought that
splits
was
up
kind
for
of
no
dumb
particular
too.
reason at one point, further dividing their limited resources, only to conveniently reunite at exactly the correct moment so that the rest of the plot can happen. The
Right.
acting, on the other hand, is so bad that it makes Tommy Wiseau look like Paul Newman. The only two actors in Willow who have an ounce of talent and actually seem to be taking their job seriously get killed off within the first few episodes, and honestly, if Finchy from The fucking Office turns out to be the best thing in your show, then you know you've got problems.
Yep.
And truly, one of the biggest offenders here has got to be Ginger Plank of Woods. Seriously, I've got no idea why Disney has got such a hard-on for this actress, but they've cast her in everything from Star Wars to Marvel to Willow, and she's been absolutely terrible in all of them.
Yeah,
She
she's
stumbles
the
through every
worst
scene with the
actress
exact same
ever.
look of blank, wide-eyed
Terrible.
confusion, no matter what the context or situation, and she has all the charisma and screen presence of a cardboard cutout of Brie Larson. Seriously, Disney, stop trying to make this girl happen. She's not going to happen. Willow also led me to another unfortunate conclusion. Warwick Davis can't fucking act anymore. I mean, he seems like a really cool guy in real life, and he's obviously had a great career, but one thing he's not now is a good actor. He delivers most of his lines like he literally just walked onto set and started reading them off a teleprompter for the first time. There's no inflection, no emotion, no sense that he's trying to convey anything about the character at all.
You thought it was safer if you grew up believing you were just like everyone else. But you're not. There's something very special inside you that's been stifled for far too long.
I mean, you'd think he would have been excited to reprise one of his biggest ever roles, but hey, maybe
No,
actually
'cause he
read the
knew
script
it was
and
gonna be
realised what kind of
shit.
shit he'd signed up for.
He
Not
just
that it
did it
matters all
'cause
that
he's
much,
getting
since he's
paid.
basically lost
That's
in a
why he's
sea
not
of
into it.
characters with nothing to do except
don't like
complain
it.
about how he's getting old and can't do magic
But he's getting
anymore.
paid to
And I
do
get the
it,
distinct
so
impression
he's
that the
doing
show
it.
doesn't really want him there anyway.
His heart's
He's
not
like
in
that
it.
weird creepy uncle that gets invited over once a year at Christmas out of sheer obligation, and your parents have to make awkward small talk with him for an hour or two before sending him on his way. Yes, don't worry, Frank, I'm sure the court case will go fantastically. Of course you were wrongly accused. We don't believe a single word of it. Just like most other Lucasfilm productions, legacy characters like Willow only really exist to pave the way for a new generation of smarter, better, and more awesomer young people that were written especially for modern audiences.
Right.
You know how I often
It's
joke
what
about how
that's
writers these days have lost the
fucking
ability to actually
retarded.
write likable, relatable, and
They want to
complex
get rid
female
of all the
characters,
old
confusing
stuff
strength
that
and
everybody
resilience with
loves
obnoxious arrogance and
and
grandiose self-absorption.
trash
One
it.
strong female character is basically all of those gripes personified into one person.
Yeah, they
I don't know
switched.
what they were thinking
They
when
switched
wrote
the
this arrogant,
princess and the
self-absorbed
prince
moron, but I
and
genuinely
made her
can't
the
think of anyone
fighter
who
and all
disliked
that
as
shit,
quickly
and the
or as
prince is
intensely
just
as
a
Princess
dumbass.
Kit. She is simply awful whenever she's on screen,
And a beta
existing
male.
only to put down, humiliate, and steal attention away from everyone else around her. And it's all compounded by a smug, conceited performance from an actress that seems to think she's in a completely different show. But Drinker, you multifaceted maestro of macho masculinity, I hear you say. Princess Kit is meant to be a flawed character that has to learn and mature throughout the story. She's not meant to be perfect right off the bat, because perfect characters are boring. That's absolutely true, hypothetical straw man, but even the most flawed of protagonists needs to have at least some redeeming features to get you invested in them. Han Solo, Tony Stark, and shit, even Mad Mardigan from the original Willow were all... flawed characters that had a lot of room for personal growth, but they each had enough innate charm, likability, and charisma that you actually wanted them to become better. The only thing I wanted Princess Kit to do was stick her head in a fucking food blender.
I know, she's the most obnoxious character.
The relationship
she
between
knows
her and
everything.
Ginger Wood is supposed to form the backbone of the show's narrative,
And she's a
but honestly,
flat-out
I couldn't care
cunt.
less if they ended up together, because why should I? They're a pair of insufferable idiots played by terrible actresses, and their romance has all the depth of that puddle of stale piss on my kitchen floor.
One
All
of the
of these
worst
horrific
characters.
elements combine together to form what has to be one of the most painful, miserable, vomit-inducing viewing experiences I've had all year. And believe me, that's up against some pretty stiff competition. As hard as this might be to believe, Willow might actually be worse than Rings of Power and even She-Hulk.
I had tried watching Rings of Power.
You serious?
She-Hulk
In short,
was
Willow
trash.
is quite simply an insult. It's an insult to
It
the
was
source
bad,
material,
too.
an insult to the fans, an
All
insult
their
to
shows
human
are bad.
intelligence, and an
Disney.
insult to the very concept of filmmaking. I managed to slog
All their
through
new
4
stuff.
episodes before deciding, fuck it, this just isn't worth it anymore. And if it's not worth my time, then I'm pretty sure it's not worth yours either.
Probably
Anyway,
not.
that's all I've got for today. Go away now!
Anyways, that's the Critical Drinker. Like I said, everything he does is scripted. I know he's getting copyright strikes for showing that content, because anytime you show video, I don't care what TV show or movie it is, 90% of the time you're going to get a strike. Not one of those where they're going to, unless you remove the content, they're going to shut down your channel or some crap like that. But you're going to get monetized. In other words, the people who created the video content is going to get money off your video if you end up getting money for it. But anyways, I don't do that on my other channel. I don't use scripts. I just give you some truth and facts about the show and the content, and then I give you my 2 cents of opinion on it. But Critical Drinker is not bad. I like some of his stuff. It's just there's been times where we've disagreed on something. For example, he kind of half-ass likes that Andor, the new Star Wars Andor. I don't. I think it's a piece of shit. It's boring, it's long, it's drawn out, and you don't get any action till like the very end of this season 1. Like the last episode or 2, you get a little bit of action, and that's about it. The rest of it's boring. It's just, it sucks. It's about a character no one cares about, because it's one of Disney's new characters, Star Wars characters. Nobody wants the new Star Wars characters because Disney can't do them right. They all suck. Nobody cares about them. Anyways, that's Critical Drinker. Check him out. He's not that bad. He does all right for the most part. He kind of funny. because in a sarcastic way, he even says that himself. Check him out, see if you like him or not. So that's all I have for you this week. So until next time, thank you for watching and take care.